Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, fellow bookers. Stay there. I'm out in the sunshine. I've had to put that up because the sun is over there. Stay there. I've got the two girls. Momo. Winnie. Stay there. Good girl. Winnie's not well at the minute, as I've said before. She's got pancreatitis, and it's particularly bad at the minute. So although I wanted to go out in the Peak District and do this, obviously she takes precedent. Got to watch her, giving her some little crackers just before a tea tonight, and it tends to settle her stomach. Anyway, I hope you've all had a good March. I hope you've been reading a lot. I've read 4 books. I've made some purchases which I was wanting to make, so I haven't broken the no book buying, but I have, because I've bought 2 others. But anyway, I'll get to them. So, books that I read in March. I started it off with The Poetic Edda. I've got notes on the back of it. Total started all of the Icelandic literature. It's written in poetic form. Oh, you jump off from there. Good girl. She's only got little stumpy legs, but she thinks she's a bleeding greyhound, don't you? You stay there. It was written before Christianity, or very early in them times, so the very written in the Icelandic Norse tradition of myths and legends. It's an alright book. The stories that were in this, come on then, come on, go, come on. Stories, no, just sit then, just sit there. The stories that were in it have obviously had a massive effect on modern English literature, from Tolkien to Neil Gaiman to loads of others. All them kind of, come on, which way are you going? Good girl, good girl. All the modern heroic sagas have got some founding in this. I was expecting more from it, but some things are just not as good as you hope. So that's what I started the month with. Second on the list was The Man Who Fell to Earth by Walter Tevis. It's from the second-hand bookshop, brand new. I think it's down for a tenner in England. He sells them for $4.99. I got it ages ago anyway. And it's about an extraterrestrial from Anthea, which they think is based in Mars. Now, Walter Tevis, he wrote a good few stories, 6 all in all, something like that. Yeah, 6. 2 were made into films, The Hustler and The Colour of Money, which are quite famous films. They made a film adaptation of The Man Who Fell to Earth with can't remember who he is. Singer, he's dead now. Starman, dee 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 doo. him, David Bowie. Yeah, it's not a good film. Not a good film at all. Anyway, we're in my back garden because it's springtime, the sun's out. Gorgeous. Can you hear Denzel in the background? He's chirruping to himself. Anyway, this book, he comes from his planet where they've had a massive nuclear war, blown the planet to smithereens. Only a few of his race survive, and he's been sent to England. He's been sent to Earth to try and stop us from blowing the planet up. But while he's here, he uses technology from his own planet to make millions and millions and millions of dollars to build a spaceship to get him back to where he's come from. But while he's here, he gets more and more human. And he gets found out by the FBI and the CIA and tested and everything like that. And in the end, because he loses, he becomes quite human. He gets humanity. He falls in love with it. But it has a side effect on him. He gets depressed. He becomes an alcoholic. Two pigeons. He gets blinded. All sorts. And he just gets disenchanted with ever going back to where he's from. And yeah, it's quite a sad, lonely book. Travis wrote it when he was an alcoholic, and you can tell because the story revolves around alcohol so much, you know. And in interviews that he did after it's been released, Trevor says, I'm an alcoholic, and you can tell it in this book. And he stopped drinking and he got himself together. But it was a good book, well worth the read. You know, you can read it. It's only, what, 200 pages, something like that. Not shy of 190 pages. Good. Got some good little quotes in it. Well written. Much better than the first one. Second book I read, The Plague by Albert Camus. Tale of disease centred around a fishing city off the coast in Algeria, I think it is, because it's the bubonic plague, can't say it, but that plague that rats carry, bubonic plague, the bubonic plague. The rats carry it and it transfers to humans, kills all the cats first, that transfers to humans, decimates the city. So the city goes on lockdown and no one's allowed in, no one's allowed out. So it's a story of these, I think it's 4 or 5 young men, written, the whole story is written by one of the group. I'll not put a spoiler and tell you who it is, but it's pretty obvious who it is. I just keep looking at her because she's rolling on the grass that I caught on the weekend. Don't eat it. Nutter. And it's how these 4 or 5 individuals cope with the lockdown, the confinement of the city. All he wants to do is escape to his wife. I think she's his wife or engaged, girlfriend, fiance, and that's all he's focused on, escaping. But he done in the end. The main protagonist is an atheist, and it's quite heavily a religion versus atheism, and how the doctor is trying to find a cure, basically, and how the priest is all for praying for God, and he'll make everything right. But anyway, it's how the city copes. It's very male orientated. You're coming up here, flower pot. Come on, don't jump. Come on. No. You're coming up. No, she don't want to. And she can't jump very far because it pulls all the pancreas, which is around your omentum and your stomach. Where was I? And it's how the two, the religion and the scientist, the doctor, cope with it. You're coming up, flower. Come on. She don't know what she wants to do. Come on, come here. Come here. Let's say hello. Come here. That's it. Hello, say hello. Hello. Good girl. And yeah, it's a very male orientated book. There's only two female characters in it. One, the doctor's mother, and two, the wife or girlfriend of the bloke who wants to escape. So in this whole city, there's like women are hardly mentioned. It's just bizarre. I thought that was a bizarre bit of the story, but a good, incredibly well written. It's meant to be his best book. I've read one other of his. What was it? Stranger, I think it was called. I like that a bit more, I think. Anyway, I like that a bit more than this one. But yeah, good book. Well worth a read. From the second-hand bookshop. Should be another a tenner, $4.99. Not red. Penguin. Brilliant. Another one from second-hand bookshop. I'm a tight ass, aren't I? I know I'm a tight ass. Herman Hesse, Steppenwolf. Now this one, it's written between World War I and World War II by this bloke. He would nowadays be called split personality, an individual that can't cope. He's in his 50s, he's divorced, he's on his own, he's highly intelligent, very well educated, but socially inadequate to the extreme. And lo and behold, he ends up meeting a group of, a group of younger people, late 20s, I'd put them as, who were on the cusp. They're in that time zone between technology and being quite old-fashioned in their outlook. And they introduce him, one especially Hermione, she introduces him to sex, drugs, dancing, how to be more social, and she just brings him out of his shell with a group of other individuals that he comes across via her. She's everything that he isn't: young, gorgeous, outgoing, a social butterfly, if you like, and drags him along on this road because he stumbles. He's about to kill himself, basically, put an end to his life. Where she says, "No, you can't, not yet. You haven't done everything. You can fall in love with me first, and then kill me, and then you can go and kill yourself." But anyway, I thought the ending was a little bit bizarre in it. After the masked ball, they obviously take hallucinogenic drugs, and he goes through all these different doorways, and he sees his past, his future, what it can be, what it can't be, and that was just a little bit bizarre for me, the ending. But still, very good book. Not as good as Siddhartha, in my opinion. I think this is very autobiographical, because Hess was in his 50s when he wrote it. He'd had a divorce, he'd had a breakdown. He was known to be a little bit of a social, depressive. So I think it's a very autobiographical book. And those are the 4 that I read last month. I made some purchases. Empire of the Damned, J. Christos, second in the trilogy. So I'll be getting to that quite soon. It's about when the sun and daylight are clouded over, the vampires come out and they rule the earth, basically, or the land where this is told. And there are silver saints who are half human, half vampires, who fight for humanity. This is the second installment. The third is going to be out later on this year in hardback. I've waited for this to be in paperback because I'm not buying them in hardback, so I'm looking forward to that. James, you've all heard of James at the minute. It's massive on all the book forums and all like that. I'm still going to read Huckleberry Finn first, although this, you don't have to read Huckleberry Finn to get the best out of this, but I will do, and then I'll read this. And I can't wait for this. It's only short. I can't wait for both of them, to be honest. Now, there's this bloke, I've mentioned him before. He's a YouTuber, Michael Jite. He's a theologian, poet, a vicar, all like that. He knows all about, he's in the Lewis, Tolkien, George MacDonald Society, very well read. Beautiful videos about books, about theology, about religion. I'm not religious, but you know, that's just me. And he recommended, if you're into Tolkien, which I've read most of the Tolkien stuff, Tree and Leaf. It's his short stories on fairy stories and poetry. Very short book, 150 pages. Tells you about Beowulf, which is why I got poetic Edda, really. You know, I love Beowulf. So I give that a go. Give it a chuck. Last but not least book of purchase. I went to Scotland. Went walking, went bagging the Munros the other bank holiday, last bank holiday we had. Not bank holiday. Anyway, it was raining, so I went to Fort William. There's a fantastic little bookshop in Fort William, and I bought a book by a bloke called Sojun, S-O-S-J-O with a line on over it, N, called The Blue Fox. I love that book. I've read it twice. Just the prose in it is just glorious. It really, really is nice. While I was there, From the Mouth of the Whale, another book by him. If it's half as good, it's only 260 pages, massive font, lots of spacing between the words. Could really be put down to 200 pages, you know, if that. But if it's half as good as The Blue Fox, I will not be disappointed. And if it is as good as The Blue Fox, then brilliant. And that's everything. That's what I've read. That's what I've bought. Just let me pause it here. I shall go get something else. So because me and sheep and lambs have got a standing hatred, I dislocated my knee one time taking videos of baby lambs for my wife, and had to put my own knee back in place. Hellish trauma. And my lads have always took the piss about my dislike for them since then. But they also take the piss out of me because I carry a book with me. If you've got half an hour doing no, get it out, get it read. This is what they bought me. It's like a massive pencil case, but it'll hold the book. Eh? They're a bunch of sods, they really are. So I've got this book bag, if you want, as well this month. Very nice. And they never buy me up, so I'm not knocking them. Good lads. Made me smile even though they've bought it to take the piss. But anyway, hope you're all having a good April. Sun's out, sun wants to stay. Spring's here. Hope you're reading a lot, and I hope you're all having a good time. And I'll see you on the next one. Ta-da.